With a 22-gauge hypodermic needle, Dr. Munn extracts cells from the lump. Though nowhere near the tip, Lala feels the prick as it goes in. The doctor shows her the cells under a microscope, then gives the owner the good news. It's a benign, fatty tumor, just as Lala suspected. Pleased to give the dog a reprieve, Lala remembers why she loves her work, even the general practice rotation, which others find dull. Her exhaustion from working 12-hour days fades. Color returns to the owner's face. "I don't know how to thank you both." "We're glad to help," Dr. Munn says. When Lala is silent, the doctor clears her throat. She turns to Lala expectantly. "Glad to help," Lala parrots, already thinking about her next patient. An hour later, Lala prepares to place an IV in a border collie's cephalic vein. The dog must have eaten peanut butter biscuits in the waiting room. They make Lala's tongue feel sticky and thick. She shaves a spot on the dog's front leg and scrubs the site with alcohol and chlorhexidine before inserting the needle. She can hardly believe in less than a year she'll be graduating and seeing patients of her own. When the phone in her pocket goes off, it isn't the ringtone for her fiancé, Clem, "Doctor, doctor, give me the news," or her father, Zev, "Run, daddy, run," so she puts it out of her mind. Treating a nervous, aging poodle, Lala scratches above the dog's heart and feels a pleasurable ache in her own chest. "You're a champ, Gordy," she says after drawing his blood, but the dog doesn't look at her or otherwise seem to hear. She walks the poodle to the waiting room, where a man in a navy suit reaches for the leash. "He never greets me at the door anymore," he says, his voice quavering. "He's not a butler," Lala mutters. "Excuse me." Could be his hearing. He is an older dog. In the break room, a tofu and avocado sandwich in one hand, Lala finally taps the phone message. Hearing John O'Bannon's voice, she stops chewing. O'Bannon is an attorney who represented Zev and Lala in a burglary case when she was a teenager. "Sorry to tell you this," he says. "Your dad was arrested. Bail hearing is tomorrow at 10. Why don't you stop by this afternoon? I'm still at 329 Carson, second floor." Lala's throat tightens around a lump of bread. She taps the message again. At the word "arrested," she squeezes the sandwich, her fingers punching through the whole-grain bread. Zev can't go to prison. He's the only parent she has left. She can't afford to lose him. The sandwich falls apart, avocado streaking the industrial tabletop. Gathering the pieces, she stumbles to the trash and drops them in. She emails Dr. Munn that a family emergency has come up and she'll be out that afternoon. She would tell the resident in person, but doesn't trust herself to speak. "They're charging him with burglary," O'Bannon says. The lawyer has aged. His cheeks sag. The pores on his nose are big enough to house a fly. "I'll need a $10,000 retainer, but it's going to cost a lot more than that before it's over." Sloppy piles of official-looking papers rise on his desktop. Crime is as popular as ever. Lala's knee bounces. She wishes O'Bannon brought a dog to work, the kind to lay its muzzle in your lap. "What did Zev say he could give you?" "When he heard the DA was asking to set bail at $50,000 because a victim was in the hospital, Zev said he'd have to rely on a public defender. He can barely scrape together the $7,500 fee for the bail bondsman." Lala isn't surprised. What little extra money Zev had, he gave her to help with veterinary school tuition. Though she can't afford to pay O'Bannon either, she hates to turn the case over to a public defender. As a teenager, she watched them in the courtroom while she waited for her own burglary case to be called. They leafed through client files as though they'd never seen them before. She would ask Clem for the money, but he disapproves of Zev's occupation, and besides, what he earns as a chiropractor barely covers their bills. There was a time she would have raised the money herself, breaking into the homes of the wealthy. Some people have more than they need, more than anyone should. But she promised Clem she was finished with that. Lala thinks briefly of her mother.